What is going on, everybody, and welcome to another Beta Memoirs. And we finally got our day, and what a power hour we had today. It was absolutely ridiculous. Powell came out, even though he was very hawkish, the report came out essentially saying that possibly triple rate raises next year. Powell's very much himself. He essentially came out speaking that what he figures is that there's still a lot of uncertainty there when it comes to supply and understanding how the new variant could still potentially affect everything, but they need to start doing tapering, need to start raising rates. Uh, Being said, the market really like that. And yes, there's been new variant lockdowns and stuff like that, but we've already got information that the new virus, even though it is more contagious, that it is not nearly as lethal as the Delta. So we have to. That is still always going to be lingering for many, I think, many years to come. On top of everything, but we are talking about the daily update, and we are talking about future, what's going to happen the next couple of days. We got the holidays, we got Christmas starting next week. So it's going to be a short week. What I'm starting to see is there's going to be low volume. We also have quad witching this week, which I think we've already gotten rid of a lot of that dump just the other day. Tuesday we've had a lot of chop and then a dump. I think that was essentially more. They essentially swap contracts throughout the week. It doesn't typically have to be on Friday. We had a monster push power hour today. I'm going to see what I expect to see tomorrow is another monster continuation push tomorrow, and then possibly some selling setting up for next week. We might get a monster move in the beginning of the week, and then I think we're going to start slowing down a little bit from that point because we're getting into low volume going into Christmas. After Christmas, and then you start seeing more of that push because mid-January, what you have is you got the earnings again. You start getting bank earnings, and then we get roll right back into FANG earnings. So it's going to be exciting, especially since everything is essentially crashed so much. But we had such a major move today. It was just absolutely absurd. Even if you look at Bitcoin, I've been talking about Bitcoin. As long as it essentially holds at 46K, we're fine. And we wouldn't really start moving until we got word from Powell. Powell also said that inflation is something that's not going to go away until possibly early next quarter next year. So that gives us a couple months. It gives Bitcoin a couple months to start gaining steam again, essentially to combat inflation. So there is our catalyst. Again, we've been waiting for that catalyst to come back for Bitcoin. Now we have it. We have much more mass adoption. We are going to see everything. We're going to really see a bull market in the next, I believe, month and a half. You have to kind of gauge too, because I think towards February, March, they're going to start talking about rates again. Then when they're going to implement it, we're going to start getting a correction at that point. Delta variant, and then whatever other black swan out there that could possibly happen. So you got to be wary. That's normally around the time we start selling, is like mid-February and March. So just keep that mindset, essentially gauge for that. Do what you can till now. Doesn't mean you take all risk management and throw it out the window. But realize that at this point, we are well in the clear right now for the market to do some major pushing at this point. We've taken one heck of a beating, and a lot of big FANG stocks as well. So even though Apple's really been pushing hard, you're going to see a lot of money start pulling out of Apple, and that money is going to be shifted over to a lot of these beaten down stocks, your Teslas, your Amazons, your shops, Google's already, a lot of them have taken already, actually took a huge run out of this whole thing. It was like 100-point move. So you're looking at 3 massive move from Amazon as soon as it turned, which I knew was going to happen. And even though I missed it, 157 point turn back over into all the dailies. I'm looking for the continuation on this mainly tomorrow. Especially Santa Claus Rally, you're always going to have your e-commerce is always going to be essentially leading the way for that. So this is one of the big ones I'm watching tomorrow. The premiums are probably super jacked right now. I know they jumped up like over 400% from essentially lunchtime till the end of the day. So you are paying a premium for them. So at this point, it's kind of looking for the laggers. Shop is another great one. It's still had a monster move. I did catch this one from the bottom to the top, bounce off the 200, want it back over the 1378 tomorrow. As soon as it gets back over that, I want to ride this into earnings, try to get something with a little bit of time, at least 2 weeks out or so, and just kind of let it ride is what I'm looking at for Shop. Now, this is the biggest thing too. I try to talk about, there was a lot of these, it was just junky days. We were playing such tight ranges. It was just being patient, sitting back, and then you get massive days like this. If you can just wait until you get these massive days like this, then all you need is to, get in a solid FANG stock and then just ride it out, and you get these 60, 100 point. You don't typically get 60, 100 point moves, but in this market, it's so volatile, and there's so many more investors, retail investors, that these moves are monstrous moves. And so you just got to wait for them. You got to be patient for them. And then when you see the momentum start pushing up, you strike. Today I was actually out and about, so I was only able to catch Shop. I did grab Tesla as well, going overnight. So these are going to be some big ones going into tomorrow. Chips is another huge one, massive mover. Everything jumped ridiculous amounts. Chips is another big thing I want. ASML is another big one I want to watch. I've been talking about it before we kind of come into this whole Powell thing. I want to watch that going into tomorrow. It's essentially anything that is lagging. Roblox is kind of was the safe haven before Apple when everything initially started selling, but Roblox is actually up there quite a bit. Did come out with numbers today, which they come out with every month, and that kind of just tanked it today. But I'm looking for this possibly later. This isn't one of my primaries. Again, I want to look at your Teslas. Tesla's actually pushing up almost to 1,000 already. Expecting this to actually gap over 1,000 tomorrow, and then see how far we can get from that point. We definitely want to get above that 105, essentially that 106 mark. If we could break that and break the 121 mark, then we can really start getting some ground on Tesla. Elon has been selling. I think Elon still has a lot more to sell, so that's one thing to keep in mind. That will be the one catalyst that might hold Tesla back a little bit, opposed to some of these other ones like your Googles is another big one I want to watch. Another monster move. Been watching this kind of all day. Another one I missed. I didn't take it. I was trying to wait on Powell. Then when it came out, everything just moved at once. But this is another big one. I'm looking for a retest here back at the 1912 mark. If we do get a retest there, I want to watch Google. Essentially all the ones that have been dominating. Those are the ones you want to be riding the next couple days. And then when they die down, you start moving back into mid caps at that point when there's no other big movements in the big FANG stocks. So being said, Shop, like I said, is the other one I want to watch. So Shop is the other big one I want to watch. Like I said, I did catch this one, but I want this back over that 1380 mark and get in this one and really ride this one. I think that would be another big one. A coin, again, if you're not in any kind of crypto, coin is another big one. Any pullbacks, you're going to want to take it leading into going into the new year. Again, not financial advice, but if you're trying to trade equities, coin would be a great one. I think, they're starting to come more around. They have the NFTs and everything that they're starting to introduce, which I think will be a big profit maker for coin. So moving forward, again, it's a good time to pick some of these up while they're still down. And especially going into tomorrow, I think will kind of be your last chance. Airbnb is another big one. I am in shares in this one. I'm looking to ride this one into the new year. I think this one is going to have great potential going into the new year. is one of the value stocks that I've been talking about since the beginning of the year. Kind of almost it came all the way down to the 160 mark. You grab it there. So going to ride this one out and see how that one does as well. CMG is another really interesting one. I do like trading this one every now and again. It is floating around the 200. I want to see where it ends up tomorrow. If we do any kind of pulling back, kind of look for those ones that are still floating around the daily 200 and pick those up before it starts to move forward. But that's pretty much what I got. Set yourself up. I think we're going to have a good continuation tomorrow. And then I think Friday we have quad witching. I think there might be a little bit of selling, just kind of cooling off going into the holiday week. And then next week, I think in the beginning of the week, we'll probably have some big moves. And then from that point, I think we're going to chill out, get through Christmas. And then come the week after Christmas, it might be a little slow, but then we'll start picking up going into full bore into the new year and all that comes with that with earnings. So if you've made it this far, remember to hit the like button and subscribe if you haven't done so already. Until next time, I'll see you guys later.